Hello, hi. It has been a minute, again, since I've done this. Sat in front of this camera and talked to you guys about books. I know. Surprise, surprise, life is busy, and it gets busier when you have a child. Who knew? And it's been a great time, and I've been having great stuff happen at work, and in my personal life, in my relationships, my love life. So things are great, but they're a bit hectic. So I haven't had time to film, but I'm making time to film because super exciting things are coming in June. It is Pride Month, and I'm especially feeling the Pride Month this year as I just came out in October. Feeling super proud. I am going to my local Pride Parade this year. There are also some readathons happening. Both of them are happening at the same time, and I do plan on reading only queer books during the entire month of June, not just for those readathons, but I do have like a specific TBR for these two readathons, whereas the rest of the month I just plan on like picking up whatever queer books I possibly can. I'm really excited about them. So the first one that I'm going to be participating in is the Queer Lit Readathon, which has like a bingo board and stuff, and it's being hosted by a couple different people. I will leave their Twitters and the official Twitter for the Queer Lit Readathon in the description below. The other one is the Read Your Gays Readathon, which I am super excited about because Boston's Books is hosting it, and she is probably my favorite booktuber to watch right now. Her and Lala, I love them both. They both identify as queer and both are putting out like really fun, amazing, great content full of reading vlogs and readathons and stuff, and I just am really excited, and I'm excited that Boston's Books is doing this. I'm just going to talk about not my whole TBR for June, but just my TBRs for those two readathons today. So I'm going to start with the Read Your Gays readathon TBR because that one is a little bit more straightforward. Like I said, the other one has like a whole bingo, and I have a much bigger TBR for that one. So for the Read Your Gays readathon, it's pretty straightforward. You read a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, any, and then the group book. So I do have one picked out for all of these. The first one is Orpheus Girl. I am blanking on the author's name right now, but I do have an e-copy of this on my Kindle because I got it from NetGalley. This is gonna fulfill the lesbian challenge. All I know about this is that it is a lesbian retelling of the myth of Orpheus, and that's really all I need to know about it. Like, sign me the F up, because like queer Greek mythological retelling is all I need in my life. I think it's pretty short, so I should be able to get through it pretty quickly. The next book I plan on reading is for the Gay Challenge, and it is called Him, and I think it's by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, I believe are the two authors. I know Elle Kennedy is in it for sure. So this is a new adult gay romance featuring a male romance, and I've never read a new adult that featured a male love story. I have read two female ones. They were both like novellas. They weren't full books, and I have read two female Harlequins, but never any female or any male Harlequins. I'm pretty excited about this. I have really high hopes for it, and I love anything that Elle Kennedy does. I tend to love new adult in general. I have been very selective lately about my new adult, which means that the ones that I do end up picking up I like more, instead of just picking any of the new adult books I can get my hands on. I have had this on my TBR for at least 2 years, so it is time, and it is a perfect time to finally read this. Next, for the bisexual category, I have Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. This comes highly recommended by Riley from Riley Marie's channel. I didn't even know this had a bisexual character in it until she mentioned that they were bi, which like really put it on the radar for me, but then she just gave it glowing reviews, and that made me want to read it even more. So I again know very little about this. I just know that it is a fantasy about necromancy that apparently has a bi female lead. So again, super into it and am really looking forward to it. It's also like kind of long, but the font is really big. So I think I can get through this pretty fast, just like I can get through like Him is a new adult, so I can get through that fast. The Orpheus Girl is really short, so I can get through that fast, and so is this. So that is kind of the goal, is to fit as many fast reads as possible into these readathons, since there are so many books that I plan on reading. Next, for trans, we have Peter Darling. This is a reimagination, that's not a word, a reimagining of Peter Pan with a trans character, and again, that's all I know about it. It is a middle grade book, so again, it's going to be pretty easy to get through, but I have been seeing this on my radar for a really long time. I would like to read more books with trans main characters or written by trans authors. The only one I've ever read is If I Were Your Girl by Meredith Russo, and that was absolutely outstanding, and so I would just like to read more from that perspective, so I'm very excited to have the time to do that in June. For the any category, I've decided to read a book with an ace main character, and that is We Awaken. This is a very short novel, maybe even a novella, with an ace main character that involves dreams. Like either she can get into dreams or her dreams become reality, or she sees people in dreams. I have seen some very mixed reviews about this, but I'm interested to try it out myself because, again, it's nice to see asexual representation, and so at the very least I would like to give it a try for that despite the mixed reviews. And also it seems like a very magical realism type book, which is my favorite genre, so I am excited about that aspect of it as well. And finally we have the group book, which is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. I know actually nothing about this except that it is queer and that it's the group book. This is a brand new author, I believe. I'm gonna go into this blind. It is also pretty short, and I am really excited about this too. Everybody's been raving about it and about how great it is, so I am excited it was chosen as the group read. So next we have the Queer Lit Readathon, and I'm just going to go through these really quickly. I'm not going to be able to fill all of the challenges for this one just because, like, there's 16 of them, and so I can't read 16 books, and the ones I do have already fill other things, so I just can't do that. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading for that one. And the first one is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and I am reading this for the See Yourself Challenge because this is about a girl who is coming out as bisexual, and she is kind of introverted about it, and just based on her, like, qualms and fears and stuff and her coming out experience, I feel like I am going to be able to see myself in her for that book. It is really highly rated on BookTube. Everybody who I watch and has read it really loves it and thinks it's like one of the best YA contemporaries that they've read, so I have very high expectations for that one. For the group read, we have We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. I think that this is a Latinx author and maybe even a Latinx main character. It is a, like, political fantasy basically, but I just like the group read for the Read Your Gays readathon. Know nothing about this group read, but I am excited for it. The cover is just gorgeous, and I am really excited about that. Also, can we count how many times I've said the word excited so far in this video? Because it is too many. For rainbow cover, I have What We Left Behind by Robin Talley, which I don't have a copy of yet. I'm on hold for it at the library. I don't know anything about this. I literally was just trying to find a rainbow cover book because I don't own any that I haven't read yet, so I just was scrambling to find a rainbow cover because it meant a lot to me to read a rainbow cover during this readathon. Next, for my free space, I have The Mere Wife by Maria Devana Headley. I know nothing about this except that it's a queer retelling of Beowulf, which I can't believe it wasn't on my radar. I am borrowing this from someone who is very dear to me, and she says that it is something that she read in a day, and if she can read it in a day, that means that she was really hooked on it. And the fact that I didn't know about this gripping retelling of Beowulf when I loved the original Beowulf, I studied it in college, I'm a huge fan of Old and Middle English, is really disappointing to me. I'm just disappointed in myself for not knowing about this because, like, this is a lot of good things in one that I will like. So the next book is Own Voices category, and I'm reading Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. This has a bi main character, and the author, Julie Murphy, is bi. That is all I know about it. Julie Murphy wrote Dumplin', which is a really great book. I don't think I like it as much as most people do. I actually like the movie better, which never happens, we all know, but I like Julie Murphy, and so I think that I will like this one, and Own Voices by Rep is always good. For nonfiction, I am super anticipating reading this because it is going to be just amazing, and I know it. And that book is Not That Bad by Roxane Gay and a bunch of other people. Roxane Gay is bisexual, and I listened to her audiobook Hunger and was very emotional reading that because she basically is me, like, in a lot of ways, and that was just really, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to identify her or with her so wholly. So I am really excited to read from a queer author who I relate to about this topic that means a lot to me. It is Dispatches from Rape Culture, and I have been reading rape culture books for like the past 4 years because I want to get my master's in publishing involving publishing rape culture books. I have a lot of high expectations for this, and I feel like this book is going to mean a lot to me. I downloaded the audiobook of this because I like reading audiobooks and nonfiction because it feels like somebody's actually talking to me and I have a conversation with them, and Roxane Gay herself is narrating part of it. So that pushed me even further to want the audiobook of it. Okay, so for the next category I've chosen is a trans spectrum main character, and so I'm using Peter Darling, which I'm reading for the Read Your Gays readathon for this category. There are also 2 categories that Reign of Fallen falls into, and it is a book recommendation and a fantasy. Since this was recommended by Riley, I am including it for that category, and since Reign of Fallen is obviously a fantasy, I am choosing to use it for that category as well. And finally, for the middle grade one, I have the one that I'm probably the most excited for, and that is The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James by Ashley Herring Blake. Ashley Herring Blake is probably my favorite author of all time. I just discovered her last year and consumed all of her published works at that time. I have rated all of her books 5 stars. They are all incredible, and she is a bisexual author, and the main character in this is queer. Her other middle grade book, I think it's The Letters of Ivy Aberdeen is the name of it. It was just beautiful and just very heartwarming but very emotional, and I really anticipate this being the same way. And like I said, I'm probably looking forward to reading this book the most out of all of them because I have so much faith in Ashley Herring Blake, and I just feel like she knows me very well as a person and a reader. Even though, like, I've obviously never met her or talked to her, I still just appreciate that she is writing what she is writing, and so I am really looking forward to this one as well. And that's it. Those are the books I plan on reading for the Queer Lit Readathon and the Read Your Gays Readathon. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and let me know if you're participating in either of these readathons. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading!